Hello, hello, good day.
Are you able to speak right now?
Of course I do, yes. I'm just sitting.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm very sorry about I had to cancel the meeting today.
No way, no need to give apologies, and I hope actually your recovery is going to, get smoother, and it's not just nice.
Yeah.
I heard your cough is very nasty.
Yes, and if I start to laugh, it will just come like. But like in this kind of case, like I am able to work from home and like if you just don't mind, I cough a little bit here and
Oh,
there.
please, no, 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 as much as you want.
Okay.
Probably you're missing
Yeah.
body, that's why you're feeling a bit like homesick.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm so sorry. So I want to know about you a little bit for beginning. Like, who are you?
Yeah, who and how I'm changing through times, because on highlights I just do wondering myself, time after time, who do I becoming, and what is the plot, what is the narration. So it's
Okay.
very good question, but put it simple, if I have to present myself, I came from a uh, small little town in North Italy, named Torino, and I
Uh-huh.
can introduce my work as a visual artist, or maybe graphic artist, which is everything that I have been able to become over here through the last decade in Finland. That's why it's a bit simple to take notions from this last period. Otherwise, I would be just a normal, regular young man from Italy who is connected with art
Okay.
or something like that.
So, like, do you mean that, like, the artistic things, like, when you came to Finland, you started doing art in here or already in Italy?
Uh, both in both sides, I have been experimented to way to make art or to deal with, and of course, since I had my own studies in the art department of Turin, I have been experienced more like um, cognitive approach, like study and try to get maybe learn notions by heart, and be able to get more curious just reading books, and maybe do some exercises or homeworks, like
Mm-hmm.
during the exams. But since I have my this nice chance to flew to Finland, thanks to art call for call for art. Yes, this residency in Rauma, I experience
Okay.
more um, more the art, like I need to express. I need to talk to not to use it to master. Like the grandiose need to have this ego centrism, and use it more like a tool to express something that might be shareable, and it's very different compared to all the culture that we have in Italy, that we might
Mm.
use more like trigger to compete, even in a sharp and a good way. So I find it more interesting to shifting this possibility to have something to tell, not just the nice craft or the nice outcome.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. to see the picture you sent me. It was a little bit big to open with my computer, but if I saw right, it was like, did you use coal in the as the method to make the art, or did I see wrong?
No, it's
What?
mm, it's all, yeah, it's coal. It's or well, yes, pencil, but I
Yeah.
I find it more. Wouldn't say always, but during this lively activity, I since the beginning got the idea that the basic was probably in my technique the best way to emulate art.
Mm. Yeah. When you like anyway, like wow, I don't know. I have so many questions, but I don't know which order I'm gonna ask them. But but like, for how long have you been in Finland right now?
Nowadays it's 10 years. Quite, yeah, long or not too. Every time I try to nail it. I have no idea how the time goes by, so it might change. That sometimes I feel it like it's too long. Sometimes I'm just a very beginner in the end.
Okay. Do you like it here?
Yeah, very much. I in so many levels. Although
Mm-hmm.
the way it's easy to spot that the winters are way difficult, but
Yeah.
well, there are so many inputs, and I guess for all of us, I would say this category of foreigners, we are very triggered by the maybe the nature and the freedom that comes right along,
Mm-hmm.
and well, put it even into some pragmatic view, the viability in the roads are giving the induction to move from place to place, and the land is very huge, and I think it's a good positive clutch
Mm-hmm.
to think now and then when we may think that we are homesick and we want to go back further to our own land, and then maybe it's well, it might just be momentary if we think how good sources are here in Finland.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So you have settled in Pori then? Like, have you been all this decade like you have lived in Pori?
Actually, I'm I'm new to Pori, but very familiar with Satakunta. So
Mm-hmm.
I have traveled from back in 2014 from Iceland, where I was living back in time. To that,
Uh-huh.
yes, there's another story. uh,
Okay, I have been there as well,
oh,
like
okay.
study for 1 month over there. But like, yeah, it's nice place too. So you like kind of Nordic aesthetics is for you, I guess.
Yes, still not. Maybe I, as well as we told before, it's another angle. It's I think I used to be more well, sure, curious to exotic places, and
Yeah.
to us, the Mediterraneans, it should be completely the opposite. So this sort kind of hyperboreal, aesthetic, but now it's a it's a bit like getting used to, and start to appreciate much further our own surroundings. So I start to kind of like study and be more interested about places that I have never been in Italy, for instance, but
Mm-hmm.
as well as warm any
Yeah.
other countries, but
Yeah. Are you like working as a like a full-time artist, or like are you having like some other thing you do like on the daily basis, like um, yeah,
yeah,
like how
it's
you
a
would define yourself?
well, it's challenging. By choices, I decide to leave and kind of believe to sort of like a purity to and we're not talking about aesthetic over here, but more like the vision that I embraced to be like a full time artist, and it's not really easy at all because facing
Yeah,
with well foremost with Kela and which is not the main. It's kind of like a gate to restrict what should be a way more glamorous life or
yeah, yeah,
I'm content if I can do my activity, maybe completing with some lectures and workshops that now and then are taking places in high schools or
oh, you do this kind of things?
yeah, I actually like it. Um, uh, I have to make, or I used to be very shy and to be a little more like try not to take them very many. But then I may have learned how to develop with the audience and with so many layers like students, toddlers, elderlies, but all like in a very genuine approach, and it helps me to believe that making art is quite pri- primary, primarily
Mm.
like talking and breathing and sleeping and eating. Actually, making art and share it with whoever. It's sort of uh, mm, it's very much allowed in here because it gives the reassemblement to create texture for society. Again, here what I find very pushing is the need to not to make competition as go to the museum and see who is the next big thing on town, but on the other side it's a source that can overcome and let come together people differently for the age, the social engagement and the notoriety. So
Mhm.
that's why I think it's even quite sustainable in a way that there's no need to go out every night or just don't
Yeah.
and do some very basic but luxurious lifestyle just by drawing and bring new contents to libraries or other
Yeah.
relevant places.
Have you had many art shows during these 10 years in
Uh,
Finland?
uh, yeah, I have counted. I think I went a bit far, but I have been accepted since the very beginning. All the all the cliche and pretty much grounding from the uh, angle of the, or perspective of bringing art to libraries because
Yeah.
I'm not really into galleries, but
Yeah.
it's 647 exhibitions in 10 years,
Wow.
included the one we have in Rusko, and from here onward it might just click over and over.
Okay, like so then like you must know all the libraries in Finland,
Yeah,
basically.
kind
And
of.
all the people who work there. Okay.
Yes.
So how come you put your art show to Rusko? Why Rusko?
Uh, um, well, it's a process, and it's very, at least to me, simple, and in a way, kind of being humble. It helps to not make any like big maneuver during the approach. As much as I'm, regrettably or not, the only one who has to person who has to work in all my settlements. So such I don't have yet, and I wish to have so hard. Anyone who can help and assist me during the like configuration of the exhibition, I just take the phone number and call right along. Since I am traveling from place to place and getting inspired from some specific area, and in a broader perspective, I am more interested. My drive goes to, without put any negative target, small areas or villages, or where the community in the end is pretty much relevant more than big cities. I think it's my orientation, and I have been felt always very welcome, despite of the easy target when somebody from another place just go in to visit and investigate small areas, and he or she doesn't find too good connections. But I have been always felt pretty much in the same playground, in the same position. So it has been always started on under a very good star, so to speak. And I do like in Rusko. I have this next exhibition in the 4th of April, in which you're very much welcome, as much if you will feel better, at the cathedral, inside the church, the cathedral in Turku.
Okay. In Rusko Church, you have an exhibition next in 4th of April?
No, in Turku, Turku Cathedral.
Turku Cathedral.
And
yeah, after Rusko.
yes, and why Rusko has been for a reason to try to bring. Then I made a sort of connection with the two exhibitions. The one in Turku is going to be about Agricola, but I just wanted to try to bring people from Turku to Rusko to see the prequel. And every time big cities has good highlight and throwback on the grandiosity. A city like Turku doesn't need any special advertisement, because it's
because people will go there anyway.
exactly.
But that's very good for you to get it there, because there is so much visitors and tourists, and a lot of people are gonna see your work.
But that's the point. I try to. It's a not bad social experiment, but because of the publicity that is building up in Turku, I would like to try to kind of use, not manipulate, but use in a good sense, the same attraction that people from Turku that will come to see the exhibition at the cathedral will come to Rusko. So there should be like a fluctuation of audience from the city to the surrounding, to the village.
Okay, but the Rusko exhibition, when did it open? And until when it's gonna be there?
It's going to stay over a month, unless I should talk with Hannele and maybe ask to have to procrastinate for a few days. So when if that could be possible and nobody else will take the exhibition place, because then there will be even more transit from Turku to Rusko, and
Yeah.
that's the yeah.
Yeah, what day it started?
Was it last week on third? No, this. Oh my god, this Monday.
In the beginning of March, right?
That's Monday. That Monday. That last Monday.
Yeah. Okay. And how many works do you have in the Rusko exhibition?
Well, there are 5 plus 1. There are 6 altogether, and they are betraying. There's very much free will and free association, and that is again happening thanks to Mother Finland, because it's possible to categorize art as a free speech, to bring those cultural similarity. But I was thinking, what was the blueprint before Agricola, before the Reformation, that set some new paradigm. So if in Turku we have the proper exhibition to the the figure of Agricola and his rise, since he started to change the clergy. Before there would have been something a way bit more unorganic, a bit more chaotic. So I'm not following any any dogmatic or religious orientation, but I was mumbling with my imagination some in a timeline, something that was before and something that happened just right after. So there is like a prequel and a sequel in a sense.
Okay. Is the Rusko exhibition also about this Michael Agricola reform, or is it about something else?
Yes, it's exactly what was before the advent of the reform in the whole Europe and the intervention of Agricola. So there is a bit more way of for how I can depict the picture, paganism or rituality connected with the nature, and I don't think here that too much has changed, as well as we had in the well, the Vatican has always been ruled many ways to to obliged to do something out of our intention, but here there has been more simplicity to accept the Reformation, because there hasn't been way much push to force any behavior. So I think, or I feel that it has been, compared to our history, getting very smoothly and simple and very acceptable and tolerant. Yes.
Okay.
As
Okay,
you,
so like you get inspired by like your own culture and then comparing that to our history, and this is like what made you create art. Did I understand right?
yes, thank you for putting it in a more simple way. I shuffle with words, but that's exactly the intention that I'm explaining and talking to you. It's unnecessary, but it is a starting point to. It doesn't have to be a hard confrontation, but to understand better the reality here in Finland. Uh, it's a sort of like basic need to start with a very soft comparison to find out who is my identity and how is changing and shifting during my permanency in Finland. That's why when you were asking me for how to introduce myself, nowadays I don't know because I'm in this transition of have memories about how I've been raised, like and how can I help to change to have wider perspective of things and not just my own culture. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Uh, it's like the yeah, like how can we see the comparison in your work then?
Sure. There is. Well, I had a. I can easily see and I might be able even to introduce on a lecture if whatever would be happen in Rusko. That also can be approachable. But
Yeah.
the easier because we don't need too much of a words, but pictures themselves can actually explain very efficiently. But usually I used to be very selective and printed to directed to a more aesthetic strike of the pencil, and even the technique was supposed to be more capturing and captivating, but maybe it was not so truth because or maybe it was truth for how I used to live in my 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
When I have been confined in a small tassel of reality. But then, since I moved, or I started to replace myself in first in Europe, in let's say Germany, and then Iceland, and then Greenland, and finally Finland. I have seen more in the enough to open this Pandora box and let more reality drop in to give more interest to get more involved to the time period. So I started to be very much awakened compared to how I used to be quite sleepy way before when I had everything quite put on place and life was such simple and boring at the same time. So my eyes has been started to capturing more light and even more darkness, and I guess that by this resemblement of contrast, even the imagination start to flip to twist the plot and flip over in unrecognizable places. So I needed to be lost. I needed to be lost at the very beginning to find out my way in the dark, or get nuances of emotions, and then just by journaling with my drawings all the feelings I might think nowadays I have achieve very like a first stepstone of my creativity. Yeah.
Interesting. You said it so well. Like have to get lost to find your way.
Yes, it's so good to say. I conclude with because thanks to put the highlight, because I think it's for each of us so easy to not take enough focus to how life goes if we're not getting a bit, like over the edge, or over our limits, but
Mm.
without getting involved in any risk. At least we know, our body and mind knows how far it's possible to travel, to
Mm.
acknowledge things.
Yeah. And how did you start to like find out more about Mikael Agricola? Because, for example, on my behalf, I have to say like I know like we celebrate him every year, but mostly like what I remember about him and the history is based on when I was probably like 10, 11, 12 years old in school. But after that, as an adult, like he's quite a distant character actually, like um even like he has such a big meaning for our culture, but I don't think he's celebrated enough. So how come you get the idea to start finding out information about him?
Well, again, well, there has been two tracks, and I've been follow not not very much at the same time, but I jumped from through the concepts to first associate with what was supposed to be our similar, or for kind of like forefather, such one to whom we are all come for come for from, like
Yeah.
where our cultural identity goes. It's very easy to be associated with Dante or Giordano Bruno, and it's such kind of figure that we all have to, well said, as you did, like recall for some time, and it has to be, I mean, like it or not, we have to familiarize with the figure, that it might turn to be an icon because we don't remember too much. I have been in, and still I am in that too, with the Italian culture. But then I think that in my personal experience, when I was looking for some coordinates at the very first stage in Rauma, it kind of came. It came at the first time some reminiscences about the Divina Commedia and how to create a sort of pathway in order to, yes, sure, get lost, get the way to the darkness, face eventually some kind of natural events, and then go through back to some kind of idyllic or normal activity or lifestyle. But it came so like 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 an archetype, that even though I'm not so big fan of Dante, I had to. It was more like a sort of like surviving mode. And then to get to the point to Agricola, I had a comparison about like the Kalevala book, and epos and history, and the plot itself, that I started to read it, and I start of make sense. I start of made sense to everything that I didn't know. It was so a bit crazy and straight on me, that I had to find some other ways to explain without the logic, all the science, and try to get more visionary about any meaningful achievement, or epiphany, or everything that was happening. So just by getting over in through the years, after I made this big drawing in this huge scroll of paper where I started to read Kalevala almost to get obsessed, um, I get to another level of um, not connection.
Can I interrupt? So, like, if I understand right, did you mean also before you was like reading Kalevala and it as well it inspired you to make art? Same like now Mikael Agricola inspired you. Did I
Yeah,
understand right?
yes. Again, you are you're really good to to uh, converge the words in yes in a more simple way because what happened with the Kalevala, same is happening now with Agricola, and I start to get way closer to be very interested how the Finnish society, even like my friends and everyone think as they have heritage. You all have heritage that you are coming from, and
Yeah.
it's very important to not to just like not making jokes but like just put it shallow and use some cliche, but at least to me, as I like to go deeper to understand things that I don't know before to act or before to get involved into deeper whatever relationship is connection. I need to know why what is the why the reaction comes for something that happened before and that I can only acknowledge by reading history notions, but also by feeling what is still live at the moment. How many Agricola affections are still nowadays? How much of Kalevala? What is the percentage that makes um, the normal Finnish attitude, and where is driving to? So that I need to bring some preset in order to understand more the Finnish society, and it's very easy to, at least to me, to use the feelings that comes from real facts, like when Lundström has written the story and what was his own modus operandi, as well as Agricola. And I'm sure that there is even more that I don't know yet, like the music or the contemporary and the modern age of Finland, which has to be associated with the Russian. And I mean, I really care to to have as much as details I could resemble before to have an opinion, and that's why it's important to make art, because it gives a very tender possibility to learn and to give back at the same time another point of view.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also that's why it's it's a full-time job. It's not it's never enough to read and acknowledge facts or historical notions. The real art here is to communicate with the people, and it's not like having a nice picture, a nice uh, drawing or art piece, but how it gives reactions and how effect to someone. If it's not just like saying I like your art or I don't like, but giving more insights, as
Yeah.
probably the pure art has to be.
Sounds so nice. And I think next week I will just like briefly I will go to see the show in Rusko, and then I'm gonna like take a picture,
Yes,
uh,
that's
which I will publish like with this article. Yeah. And then I just hope like a lot of people will be interested and go to see it. How does the kind of Finnish Italian man, how does he see the Finnish history and what ideas it gave to your mind, creative mind?
it's there's a bit of good fun in such process because friends and families and acquaintances from Italy also are trying to. Sometimes they come here to visit me. Some well, daily they are viewing what am I doing because I have quite a lot of um, not attention, but even in Italy, it has to start to. It started to put the attention to how am I doing here. So they all try to see in a way that I know that is not me anymore. So I'm really changing something in my point of views, and
Yeah.
I can really much relate in a blueprint each and everyone who have their own opinion if it's more radical or more more free to get over the tradition or a bit more experimental. So I that's to me what matters the most more than the aesthetic, which I was used to be so attached so many years ago, and it's like getting from the bidimensional world to the sixth dimension. you, and you start to see all the reaction and how it creates pattern in the society, and even in Italy, for sure.
Mm.
I
Okay.
have to be thankful for this opportunity because I haven't had very big hopes, or I think I was more very agitated or anxious and have this sort of stress like I have to do something nice and great and big, and then everything else started to falls apart, revealing the real core, which is completely different to this long journey where it started times ago. So I'm enjoying the process, let's say.
Yeah, amazing to hear, and that's the most important thing. And
Yes,
that it also have to feed your soul, because if it doesn't, like, why would you do it?
exactly. Yes, exactly.
Okay, okay. I think now, for now, it's enough for me to write. But
Yes,
when I'm gonna go to see the show, probably I'm gonna like contact you another time to to ask if I have some questions more, because really now I have to see it first, so I
I
can
agree.
continue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. You're thinking very and feeling very good. So I hope it will give you something to reflect. Again, it's not like I like it or not, but I hope it has made sense. If now looks a little bit strange, everything we have talked about, you would have more grip to look for.
Yeah, I kind of hope I would have seen it already, because then it would be easier for me to make this interview now. But anyway,
It was very good.
it's good. Like we have now this connection by the phone call, and it went well. So yeah, I think we will manage this.
Yes, very happy to. And maybe we'll see when I'll get back to Rusko if there should be an extension. I will also let you know. So maybe with Hannele, I might we might find if there should be a possibility to engage something with the scholars maybe, or if not, it will be just great anyway. And we'll keep
All
in
right.
touch.
Yeah. Okay. So I will get back to you probably next week, in the beginning of next week.
Wonderful.
So yeah, and I'm gonna put when the article is ready, I will put it to next week's Thursday's newspaper.
All right, Ina. Very nice. I may ask to, and I should send a message if could I access to one newspaper. Edition.
You can put your address to me in email, and we will send the newspaper to your
lovely.
home. Yeah.
Exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very happy to talk to you, and we will talk more. And thank you so much for your time and your support. It's very nice.
And I'm nice you contacted, and like I think I was the only one to be able to make this interview because of the language. so like happy it came for me.
Okay, then you please, and it was good. I would have probably to be dispensable to talk way more Finnish, but it would have been a bit problematic to get a little bit deep into some to articulate some thoughts. But,
Okei, so you speak Finnish. Tosi hyvä juttu.
Joo, mutta joka päivä opin lisää.
Joo, mutta mä tiedän, että se on todella vaikea. Ymmärrän. Mutta mä toivon sulle nyt oikein hyvää viikonloppua. Ja me kuulemme lisää ensi viikolla. Okei?
Mukava juttu, hyvä. Joo, selvä. Joo.
Moikka ja kiitos.
Nähdään, moikka, kiitos.
Moi.
Näkemiin.